Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two trucks having sex. Two trucks having sex. My muscles involuntarily flex. Two pickup trucks making love, American made.
Listen up, Autothots and Decepticlowns. You are listening to Prime Cuts, a non-linear history of the Transformers franchise on television. I'm one of your hosts, Nero.
I'm your other host, Audrey.
Hey! How about that Energon, huh?
Yeah.
Are you having a good time?
No.
It's good.
It's not.
It's great. Oh, it's don't you just love endless scenes of the same CGI bird model getting covered by explosion.gif?
There are 51 or 52 episodes of this series, depending on whether you're watching the sub or the dub. That's a fun thing we'll get to later. Which means that Nero and I have chosen to commit ourselves to doing this shit for half a fucking year.
It's got to be, the work has to be done, although I will say we may switch formats to do 3 a week because the events that happen in these episodes are quite light, to say the least. We covered the first 2 episodes of Transformers Energon, or, as it is known in Japanese, Transformers Superlink, which is the one that I am watching. For those of you who think that I'm getting a much better experience, though, don't worry.
It's bad the whole way down.
It doesn't matter how it sounds, it still looks the way it does.
I mean, it matters a little bit how it sounds.
It matters a little bit.
I will say, the English voice acting for the show, challenging. Challenging is the adjective I would use for it.
So, as we talked about in the announcement episode, Energon was the offering for the 20th anniversary of the Transformers brand. It was the sequel to Armada, the first direct sequel since Beast Machines, probably. And it's quite unique, I would say, is the nice way to put it. I think it's really amazing how many of its problems are already on full display within the first 5 minutes of the episode, by the way.
I turned this on. Now, I watched Armada. I've never watched Energon or Cybertron. And immediately as the opening started, when I hit the first episode, I felt my lip curl.
Yeah.
I felt a physical reaction to what I was seeing.
Do you know about the Energon opening, by the way? Do you know what that is? Because the way that they made the Energon opening song should tell you everything you need to know about the show.
What is it?
So, the theme for Energon, the one that you'll listeners that you'll be hearing at the end of these episodes for the next eternity, is not. So that is basically a slightly remixed music track from a RID 2001 toy commercial.
Great.
They just added some more reverb and guitars. They added a little keyboard solo in there. But they didn't make anything new.
Great.
The first episode we watched is called Cybertron City in Energon and Arise Ocean City in Superlink.
It's called Energon City in the dub.
What? That's not right. Maybe, wait, was this another one where they broadcast it wrong?
I don't know. It's called Energon City.
Wow. That's
what was on my screen and also what's on TF Wiki, so.
Are you sure? Because I'm looking at Cybertron City.
I thought so. Energon City.
Huh?
Oh no, you're right. Sorry, it is Cybertron City. There's also Energon City within the show, so I think I just got it.
Yeah, apparently This is supposed to be called Autobot City, by the way, but they forgot to localize Cybertron to Autobot.
Whatever, this show sucks.
There's a guy out in space. This is the first thing that happens is we see a guy out in space, and we don't know this guy's name or what he is or anything really. I'll just say that this man's name is Alpha Q.
He has 3 heads.
He's got 3 heads, and all of them are annoying as fuck.
I cannot describe the way this man sounds. They're imagine Blitzwing from Animated if he just sucked.
Yeah, if like instead of being charming and funny, he was like the worst.
Just awful. Just the worst thing. There's one voice in particular that is just like high pitched like this, and it's like, oh, I'm going to
I remember
kill you with my mind.
I remember exactly which one. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's making some birds and cats.
Yeah.
Like...
No. Asterisk, caveat, translator's note, etc. The birds are and cats are suicide bombs.
Yeah. So he's got an infinite. He's gonna release a bunch of animals that don't mind being exploded in order to get Energon. I think you will find that this show is mostly about getting Energon to give to something else and talking about how cool Energon is.
It's almost like that's the name of the show. Anyway, where do you find Energon? Turns out, on Earth still.
Big old city rises from the ocean. This is Ocean City. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Like, who's very creative naming there, Optimus.
Take me down to Ocean Cybertron City where the bots are cons and the girls are pretty.
And we see a familiar face. We see Demolisher. He's got some cool new colors, but he looks the same.
He's like the only one who's like actually identifiable.
Yeah.
Of the cast that we like see for more than 5 seconds before they die badly in space.
Yeah. Although Shockwave has some crazy colors, or Tidal Wave.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is that, like, Tidal Wave we actually see, but I didn't recognize him because he looks nothing like Tidal Wave.
So it's been 10 years since the end of Armada. Autobots, Decepticons, and humanity are all working together on Earth. And, Demolisher's not feeling, he's got some frustrations with it. And his number one frustration rides out of Ocean City on a sweet motorcycle. And tells Demolisher to fuck off. This is the introduction to Energon's human sidekick, Kicker.
I want to throw this guy into an ocean.
Oh, he's the worst.
And it's so funny because I will say that there are some delivery of lines regarding Kicker from other characters that are very funny in the English dub, and I will give it those moments. Bright spot, like a couple bright spots in an otherwise dismal 42-minute experience.
Yeah. And Kicker has surfaced the city, which is usually like a subaquatic structure, because he just wants some fresh air. And
now Kicker Jones is the son of one of the scientists who is working. Well, two of the scientists who are working directly with the Autobots. Brian and Olivia Jones.
Yeah, Miranda, I believe, because they name a spaceship after her later. I'm pretty sure it's Miranda in the dub.
Is it Miranda?
Her voice actress's name is Nicole Olivier.
Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking of. Oh, yeah, that's definitely, yeah, it is Miranda. Yeah, sure is Nicole Olivier who plays her, and also daughter Sally in the exact same voice.
Yeah.
She's really funny at times when they are together, and you just hear the exact same voice coming out, except a different mouth is moving. It's so bad. I will say though that she is. Nicole Olivier, if you do not know her, is best known for being Princess Celestia in Friendship is Magic.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
Yeah. So, fun fact about what we're listening to here.
So, Kicker is a fucking annoying ass kid. He's too cool for these fucking Autobots. He has an ability that lets him sense Energon. Which is presumably the only reason he hasn't been squished, quote unquote, accidentally.
This Gary Stew ass motherfucker.
Oh my god, he's the worst. Most of the time, the human sidekicks love they love the Transformers a little too much. They can't get enough of them. They throw themselves into danger for all these cool big robots because they're supposed to be the audience surrogate, right? You'd love to hang out with Optimus Prime and his funny guys. But
not this guy.
Energon asks the brave question: what if the human sidekick fucking hated Transformers for really not unclear reasons?
What if what if the viewer proxy just hated everything about the show? And you know
Great.
what? And you know what? I do. So,
Yeah.
mission accomplished.
I think in a better show, in a more competent thing, maybe he could have been a compelling character idea. But unfortunately, he's in Transformers Energon and Transformers Super Link, neither of which are good or compelling.
Kicker, like, basically weaves around from Demolisher, who is supposed to be, like, stopping him from doing this, but fails to do so.
He's like, Kicker, what are you doing? No.
But before he can, like, try to give chase, Hotshot drives out. Hotshot looks like shit. Holy shit. These are very bad designs.
So
the worst of them is Ironhide. We will get to Ironhide,
man,
who
he
looks
so
terrible.
It's time to talk about one of the show's worst aspects, which is its character design.
Which is visuals?
Yeah,
the actual show part of the show.
There are two studios that worked on this anime primarily. Studio Actus animated everything that wasn't CGI, which for the most part looks fine enough. Nothing too crazy out of the ordinary.
It is standard to Armada, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's a little higher than Armada was most times, just a little bit, because Armada could run a little rough, especially early on.
I don't think it's actually that much better animated. I do think that the art itself is crisper.
Yes, it's a little sharper.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that much better animated. Like, the movement isn't any better.
And if you think the humans don't move very well, let me tell you about the other studio that worked on this. Studio A-Cat, who did all of the CGI characters, which means all of the Transformers.
So, a fun thing I learned while watching this is that moving a mouth while dialogue is happening is actually optional.
And even when it does, are you hoping to find some kind of clue in their expressions or whatever? Because bad news, nobody has those in this show. It's all mouth open, mouth closed, if you're lucky enough to have a mouth at all, which most characters do not. So one of the really big problems with Energon, I would say, is the fact. So I mean,
there's only a couple.
I'll give it 1 point. This show ends up being one of the most toy-accurate cartoons Transformers ever put out, due to the fact that everyone just looks like they scanned in their fucking toys into the show. They look terrible.
I'm doing the Casey Green I guess pose right now.
Like, yeah, they do look like all of these character models. I could go to the store and get off the shelf. I don't want them to look like that, though. There's so many weird seams where, like, they would do the thing, because, oh god, yeah, Hotshot especially, man, talk about a fucking design downgrade.
Yeah, a glow down. Jesus Christ, dude.
He looks terrible. Which, by the way, some sub reports here regarding character names. I will continue to use the dub names for everybody, but Hotshot was Hot Rod in Armada, right?
Yes.
Well, he's Hotshot now.
Cool.
I know this because Ironhide continues to call him Hotshot Dono, despite Hotshot's extreme embarrassment.
Dono? I'm gonna... Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Ironhide, because obviously Demolisher carries that name in Japanese. His name is Roadbuster, so big L's for him.
Whatever.
Not as big of an L as Ironhide's name being attached to this fucking dipshit.
Honestly, I would prefer him being Roadbuster.
And Inferno
he looks more like a Roadbuster.
Yeah, and Inferno is Inferno.
And Jetfire is still Jetfire.
He's Skyfire still, yeah.
Or Skyfire, yeah.
Then there's Strongarm and Skyblast.
Yep, those are the same.
They aren't important. Don't worry about the Omnicons. the show doesn't. So yeah, Hotshot.
They are just introduced with zero context
Yeah,
whatsoever.
we will eventually get it explained who the fuck the Omnibots are. Good, you're not gonna get it right now though. Fuck you.
Yeah.
There's just guys here.
So on his way out, peeling after Kicker, Hotshot says something fairly dismissive to Demolisher about his ability to stop Kicker from going, and I will give this line credit, kind of, but it also makes me want to die a little bit, which is Demolisher says, "One of these days, Hotshot," and like the exact same cadence of "One of these days, Lucy," pow, right into Kisser, straight to the moon.
So Hotshot does a cool maneuver and gets in front of Kicker and points his gun at him, and I say, just fucking do it, Hotshot. Just fucking pull the trigger, man.
Yeah, Kicker's literally like, "What you gonna do with that big gun? Gonna kill me?"
And he goes, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, Hotshot, you stick to your guns. You fucking point that thing.
It's kind of funnier in a dub where he's like, "What are you doing pointing that at me?" And he's like, "Oh, right, sorry."
And he's like, Kicker, just because you're our super important mineral finding MacGuffin boy, you can't just order the city to be raised on a whim. And then his hair goes golden because he's got Energon Saiyan powers. And he's like, oh fuck, Energon, it's here. And we cut down to the Omnicons mining. By the way, actually, Strongarm and Skyblast do have different names in the sub. Strongarm's name is Blast Arm, and Skyblast's name is Airglide.
Sure, great.
So we cut to Cybertron. And we see a familiar face. We see Rad White. He's here. He's back. Unclear if he's going to tell us about the Transformers or not.
I will say he grew up well.
Yeah, all the Armada kids we see in these episodes, they look fine. They look good.
They look fine. I will say Carlos's voice acting in this episode, not great. Which is shocking because his voice actor is like a pretty consummate professional.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Hill also has to do Ironhide, so you know.
I know, but like
maybe playing Ironhide drained him of his talent like it's fucking Space Jam. Just like,
maybe because like he's done a lot. Like Matt Hill has done a lot.
Yeah. He's a good voice actor.
He's a good voice actor.
But I have a feeling everybody was kind of putting in like 50% on this one. I don't know if anyone was really going all out for Transformers Energon, I must say.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, yeah, we see Rad. He's a scientist now. He's working on like a satellite Earth base on Cybertron where human scientists do science stuff. And he informs Kicker's father, Dr. Brian Jones, that the Omnicons have hit a vein of Energon on Earth. And they talk about how, like, yeah, Energon will be good for humanity because it's a clean energy source, and it'll be good for the Transformers because they gotta eat it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And rebuild Cybertron with it. So there's a weird thing here where, like, there's like a weird bit where Rad tells him, you know, he mentions like, oh, it's something about Kicker, and Dr. Jones, like, he's like, oh, Kicker, what did he do now? And he just keeps talking while Rad explains what happens, and there's like a 3-second delay before he registers that it's something good. Very weird cadence to everything here.
Yeah.
I think something on Cybertron is like they need to check the pH levels in their lab or something. Something their brains are like dying. So then we see another old friend of ours, Tidal Wave. He's chilling.
Who also is like unidentifiable, as we said. I mean, he's still big, but like
he looks like a fucking monster.
You can't trust scale in this show for anything.
No.
Like I will never trust. So like the fact that his one defining feature was being big McLarge huge, like is irrelevant now. So he doesn't have the same colors. He's not notable any other way. Unrecognizable.
Yep. And he's just staring off into space, and then a bunch of animals fly out of space and attack him. Just here's another. It's time for another animation problems corner with Transformers Energon with
Great.
Studio ACAT.
Love it.
Something that really hurts the ability for me to visibly parse what's happening is that for some fucking reason the animators forgot to scale the outlines sometimes on distant shots.
Oh, they sure do, huh?
So in long shots, very often characters just become like black blobs. It's hellish. Oh, it looks great. So these models were a really good idea, guys. Anyway, Ironhide gets fucking suplexed by Optimus, and I wish he'd like crushed his skull. I wish he'd gone Bayverse Optimus on this dude a little bit.
Yeah, so welcome to, like, the robot viewer proxy for this series, who is, in fact, even worse than Kicker.
He's
This
like
guy sucks so much.
He's like a rookie guy who's like wants to be on Team Prime, but he's unproven. He wants that spark of combination, which we'll talk a little bit about later, and how fucking stupid it is. Yeah, he's not really much better in the sub, I'm afraid. He's still in fact, I feel like he's even more of a tryhard in the sub. He's always talking about fucking Hotshot Dono and always this stuff. His catchphrase is "I'm awesome," which is just a lot. I mean, keep lying. Fake it till you make it, man. But it's
this
gonna
is
take
be
a
a
while.
rough 6 months, folks.
It's gonna. And these are only like our beginning characters. There's so many more annoying guys we have yet to meet. By the way, Optimus also looks terrible.
Oh, he looks like shit. Holy
he's a square with arms and legs coming out of it.
And like when he combines,
oh man, his tiny face.
they make him squarer. He just looks it gets to like sort of like Bayverse levels of like these are just like car crashes moving.
But instead of like car crashes, it's just like piles of like mega blocks slamming into each other.
It's like this is just a cargo container yard.
Yeah, at least like the car crashes had a lot of moving like parts and crazy bits. These are just like squares.
Yeah. This is just Red Hook.
Yeah, like, and of course the way these things move is just. It is beyond fucking hilarious because they just swing their arms and legs while someone just slides their model across the backdrop. No motion really. Anyway, Optimus is like, "Hey man," Ironhide's like, "I got beat," and Optimus is like, "Don't worry, I see a lot of Hotshot in you," which is presumably Optimus remembering how annoying Hotshot used to be.
Yeah. It is. I mean, I will say that like Hotshot's so uncomfortable around.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like this. This guy's weird.
Like this sucks, dude.
So then we have Rad and Dr. Jones reporting that the asteroid belt base has been hit by mysterious animal drones. And they see Tidal Wave getting chomped on in the screen. They're like, "Oh fuck, Tidal Wave got taken down. That's pretty bad." And then also Mars is under attack. Mars City. Carlos calls in to tell him this. Carlos
Cyclonus dies badly.
Yeah, that's not until later. He's on the moon.
Yeah. Right,
everyone on Mars fucking dies. We don't know anybody on Mars, but everyone there dies. Maybe Wheeljack was there or something. I don't know.
I mean, Tidal Wave was there.
I think he was in the asteroid belt.
Was he? He blew up.
So yeah, he's got.
He still blew up.
He's fine. He's just getting gnawed on like he's a fucking salt lick.
They're eating him.
Yeah. So Carlos is like he's a pilot in the asteroid belt, and he reports that Mars is getting fucked up. So Prime grabs his boys. He grabs his Jetfire, who he acts the same. He's normal. He grabs Inferno, who in this show is like a sort of stoic sniper, I guess, is his personality.
Sure, why not?
He looks terrible, by the way. Just assume everybody looks bad unless we say otherwise.
Yeah, I do want to hold the fact that Ironhide definitely looks the worst.
He's just so wide.
Looks like the end of the Pear Wiggler.
Yeah,
he's extremely greebled.
He's got too much shit hanging off of him.
Yeah, he's like Miss Thickums, but like
yeah.
very bad. I think that post that's like, who can draw Rouge the Bat as wide as she is tall?
Yeah.
This is Rouge the Bat as wide as she is tall.
He's basically a perfect rectangle.
But like greebled. A greebled Rouge the Bat who is as wide as she is tall.
He's so great because he's got this big fucking rack hanging off of his head with all these guns and lights hanging
And
off
the
of
way
it.
they animate him, like in this scene that's coming up, he's like chasing down Kicker again. And he's in his car mode, but his head is coming out from the roof. It's awful.
Once again, it's like, oh wow, the toy can do this, so presumably he can do this in the show too. It's like, sometimes you don't have to be that accurate. Sometimes you can get a little creative with it, fellas. You can but yeah, so they go to Mars, and when they get to Mars, they're like, oh fuck, everybody's dead. Ah shit, we gotta go to Earth. So yeah, all those guys that were working on Mars died off screen, and none of them were important, I guess. Sorry. You're all eaten by birds and cats that explode in a single hit.
Yeah.
So then we kind of get some glimpses into Kicker's backstory once we cut back to Earth here. We see we see a flashback to probably shortly after Armada's ending. We see the younger versions of the Armada kids arriving on Cybertron, and then a young Kicker accompanying his dad there. And he's like, Kicker, this is the Transformers homeworld. They're great. They're so cool. And he just this is the ominous shot of Optimus and the others looming over him with glowing red eyes.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, I feel like they're trying to go for like some of the almost like Gundam stuff, like big robots, scary and bad, but just like failing terribly at. I mean, like that's the idea, right? Is that like Kicker is this little shit because he hates Transformers, because he blames them for, I don't know,
for getting chosen by God, because that's what happens later.
Yeah, because I guess he like blames them for him being able to like sense Energon.
Look,
and so like there's supposed to be the scary thing to him, but like...
also he's clearly not scared of them because he yells at them all the time and kicks people in the face. So like it really just comes off like he's a fucking arrogant little bitch.
Yeah.
Who sucks. So yeah, it's like I understand being like a little kid and like, oh my god, these robots are so big, everything is so scary. I fell in a hole and God spoke to me. And because he runs off on Cybertron, and like, the ground falls out from under him, and literally Primus, who by the way was never mentioned in Armada, never brought up,
never mentioned, also not named here, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't even remember if he's ever actually. I think he must be named somewhere.
He's named in the next episode when fucking Optimus in the dub. When fucking Optimus is when they're having a fight, and Optimus is like, "Here, take this combiner matrix that I was given to by Primus." What and when?
Okay, so. Yeah, Primus catches Kicker and imbues within him the ability to sense Energon. Then we cut back to Ocean City, and there's a lot. So here's another problem numero 3 with Transformers Energon. Boy, these battles sure look like shit, huh?
I want to die. So here's the fun thing they do in Energon to do battles, which is they show the aftermath of attacks, but not the attacks themselves.
I mean, we see a little bit of one here. It's just that, they can put a lot more models on the screen than they could in, like, Armada, for example, with this technology, right? So you can get the big swarms of Terracons attacking a city.
But why would you want to? But, like, it's very frequently here, like, when the cavalry is called in here, for example, there's, like, a shot of, I guess it must be Jetfire alone? It's Jetfire and what? Is there another flyer there?
Nope.
besides
So
Jetfire?
it's probably Jetfire.
It's just Jetfire of like flying up to hit them, but you don't actually see him do anything. It just goes from him flying up towards them to them being sliced in half.
Yeah, we never really see, and also, man, when they do actually show the Terracons getting blasted, like I said, they just put fucking explosion.gif over the model and then delete it. It looks so bad. Just...
You know how much fun Zoids was? This is like the opposite of that.
What if Zoids was made on a budget of fucking 2 cents? That's what Transformers Energon is. And yeah, they fight, and this is where we get our first look at the main gimmick of Energon here, because yeah, as you mentioned, Optimus says, "Hey, Hotshot, spark of combination that God gave me." He goes, "Huh? Okay." And he goes, "Combine with Inferno." And he goes, "Okay." And then Inferno turns into pants.
Yes. Yeah.
What does this do?
Yeah. He's like, take it, combine with Inferno, and then attack. And he like sends it from his chest into Hotshot Spark, and Hotshot has the most, in the English dub, has the most deadpan. Awesome. It's like, what's happening? And then he turns into a shirt to combine with Inferno's pants.
Yeah.
Also, all of this is set to an extremely speed racer ass track.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely remember that. Armada replaced a lot of the Micron Legend music with its own OST, but I don't think Energon does the same. Except sometimes they do put in some just fucking terrible, just reprisals of the opening theme. But for the most part, I recognize most of the music that I heard watching Superlink from when I watched Energon years ago. Anyway, this is Power Linksing in the dub and obviously Superlinking in the sub, and it looks really stupid. Like, it just looks bad. 2, I don't understand what this is going to accomplish, because when you do the math, right? If you use some simple math here. So you have Hotshot and Inferno, and each of them are 2 guys with guns, right? And then you have them power links, and what you have is one slightly taller guy with a gun.
Yeah, well, but now there's 2 of them, Nero.
And it's not really like shown that they're that much more powerful. Like, he just unleashes like a huge laser and just decimates an entire squadron of Terracons. No, he's just taller. And Prime has some drones that he'll combine with in the next episode. For now, they just fly around and do stuff. I like that the way that the drill attacks is that it spins the drill really fast to blow the Terracons away. Because that's definitely how drills work.
Yeah, this is truly incomprehensible to watch. You get nothing. They give you nothing.
It's just a collection of random images assaulting you. Kicker almost dies again, but unfortunately Optimus gives him some sweet armor to protect him.
Here, your dad made this. Fuck off.
Your dad made this, and Kicker's like, fuck my dad. I hate this sweet armor. It's like, bro, your dad made you power armor. What are you talking about?
That's basically the end of this episode, right?
Yeah, it just stops.
Yeah, which is
and then
really
Alpha,
funny.
and it cuts back to Alpha Hugh going like, "Ooh, well, I'll get them next time."
Yes.
What if I just throw more birds at them? Yes.
More cats. Ew.
Yeah, and by the way, it's fucking he's trying to rebuild you. He's trying to revive Unicron. That's all Energon is for. We know
he's in the corpse of Unicron. Let's be clear here.
He hollowed out a place in Unicron's nipples or whatever, and he's living in there. And he's making lots of cats and birds, and he's sending the cats and birds everywhere. So, episode 2, Energon Stars, or Shine Energon Stars in Super League. I think
that's my favorite gacha game.
The pattern for the dub and subtitles, I think they just take a word off of the Super Link title.
Awesome. So good. It's so good.
Alexis works for the fucking government now.
She does. She looks good.
Yeah, she's doing well. She works for the Earth Federation. which is like, I guess, the sort of governing body that deals with all of the Cybertronian stuff. And she's there to tell everyone on Ocean City that we understand that you have just weathered an assault from this mysterious enemy that seemingly has no end, and humanity is here to tell you, Optimus Prime, that it's your fucking problem.
Yep.
This is where we see Tidal Wave floating through space covered by Terrorcons. This is where we see this.
Oh, right, yeah, right.
He's getting chomped. He's getting chewed on.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's like, it's Terrorcons. Earth will not be helping them, despite the fact that Optimus clearly states that they are targeting Energon mines on Earth, which seems to me like it might be an Earth Federation problem.
There's a lot that goes on in this episode where they're like, we can't strike them because we'd be striking first. Hey, what?
What the hell are you talking about?
They
they attacked you.
They
and also
suicide bombed you. What are you talking about?
They also are not sent. They're like a fucking. It's like we can't fight that beehive. It would go against our treaty.
Yeah. So like. Alexis is like, well, okay, so we can't attack them. There's a hitch because when, like, the war ended between the Autobots and Decepticons, part of the treaty was that, like, Transformers can't attack each other. And these things are clearly Transformers, even if they're not Autobots or Decepticons. And so, if we strike first, then we're breaking the treaty. We have rules we have to follow. It's like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, it's all very tortured, and for once I am on Kicker's side because he's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
this is bullshit.
This is some bullshit. She's like, we have rules. We can't do a first strike. This isn't the first strike, Alexis.
Like, even if you were attacking their base, you don't know where that is. So, like, I don't know, man. But yeah, she basically said she's gonna evacuate all human personnel out of Ocean City.
She's like, as long as there is, that was the other line from it. I was like, as long as there isn't, like, a clear present threat, we can't strike first. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so...
There's no clear and present threat, but we do have to evacuate everyone.
I will say, this is the thing. So, the TF Wiki is very helpful here, as well as me watching Superlink, because every episode of Energon has a rather lengthy section at the bottom. Well, there's two rather lengthy sections. There's three. One of them is differences with Superlink, one of them is animation and technical errors, and one of them is a pain count, which is all of the shit that the dub shovels in to fill time. And there's a lot of filling dead air with guys going, huh? And huh. That's classic early aughts anime dubbing shit. But they really like to do that. Anyway, In Superlink, Alexis is saying that the reason the Earth Federation isn't helping is because this is like they have deemed this an entirely Cybertronian matter. This is a Transformers-only dispute, and so Earth will not be putting any resources towards it. Rather than this weird thing about the treaty not allowing them to strike back against other Transformers.
Because that would be striking first, actually.
She's like, we can't help you. We're pulling all of our people out. And Optimus says, that's fine, but I want the boy.
I need his juice.
I need him. He's like my fucking sniffer dog. I need him to point me towards Energon. So everyone's staying on Earth. They're not going back to Cybertron. They gotta make sure none of these dogs and birds, cats and birds kill anybody. You know how it is, or anybody else, I guess. And Optimus gives Ironhide the worst job in the world, which is Kicker's babysitter.
This is going to be so challenging to watch 51 episodes of. Like, this is what we're doing? This is what we're doing.
It just sort of slams from scene to scene, just kind of randomly.
The two worst protagonists ever created in a Transformers series.
Maybe Optimus is hoping, like, I think he's got like some third dimensional chess going. It's like, okay, I hate
Maybe they'll
Kicker.
kill each other.
Yeah, like maybe Kicker will drag them into some sort of horrible, dangerous situation, and I'll get there just too late, and they'll be torn apart by battle ravages or something. Like that'd be great.
I don't know, man. It is so rough.
Yeah. And so we see a little. They put out the word to all of these Cybertronian human alliance cities all across the globe. That's like it's time to evacuate all human personnel. And this is where we see another new character here because Kicker gets on the Skype with his fucking GF Misha, who I believe in the dub they call Mika. That is not her name. I don't know why they call her that.
Well, it is her name.
Nope.
Now.
No.
So.
No, I think they'll call her like 3 different things over the course of the show. By the way.
Great, fantastic. It's good. It's good. This is what I want.
Yeah,
I love getting kicked in the dick.
They do Micha at one point too, apparently,
Jesus
which is amazing.
Christ. It's like embarrassing. Like
I don't understand how it got here. Like, come on, you at least got to give this a second over.
I can't believe people attach their names to this.
I know. I don't think anyone was particularly happy with it. Okay, look, at least Armada had a rough dub, but they had the excuse of that crazy production schedule. I don't think this one was produced in the same way. I think this one had like a normal time. So my only conclusion is that they just didn't give a fuck.
It is mystifying.
Anyway, Misha's like, I'm not leaving, Kicker. I want to help Energon, you know? Okay. Cut to the moon, and we see Cyclonus. Cyclonus is here. He's got some new colors.
He is also immediately recognizable, but unlike Demolisher, he doesn't live long enough for it to matter.
No, because he immediately gets attacked and seemingly dies. Which, man, if I'm Cyclonus, I'm mad at this booking. Like, I'm getting killed by a bunch of fucking Terrorcons. Are you kidding me?
Honest to God.
So Prime was like, oh fuck, they're attacking the moon. I thought they were gonna attack Earth next. Jetfire, you gotta fly up there first, and then we'll all get, because they just submerged Ocean City. So they're like, fuck. Oh my god, we forgot to mention. Okay, space bridges. We all know about space bridges, don't we? They're teleporters that cross space. That you can run into one and come out the other end, right? Very simple thing. In this show, it's very literal. A very literal space bridge that you drive on.
Most importantly,
Why?
you need a very big ramp.
You need a big ramp. Why? And also, Jetfire also drives on the ground in the space bridge.
Yeah, Jetfire has Jetfire has the wheels that like any like plane / shuttle has.
Yeah, so he's just driving around.
But there's no reason for it.
Yeah, and it's just they gotta. So what they have, if you remember in Armada, they had the teleporter that they just had to, go into that little garage thing, and they could shoot anywhere. They didn't have to go up a damn ramp. Apparently, they have lost this fucking technology because they gotta drive. And they need to have a big ramp in order to drive up into the sky. But Jetfire can fly, so you can fly to the moon before they can get there.
So stupid.
And Kicker's like, bring me along, Jetfire. And he climbs into Jetfire's cockpit. And if I'm Jetfire, I just depressurize that bad boy real quick. Just like you get out earshot of Optimus. Just sort of, oh, Kicker, take off your helmet. I'll make sure you're all oxygenized. And he just kind of like turn it off, and it might be a little messy. You got to clean off the windshields, but problem solved.
I hope he experiences rapid depressurization.
Yeah, give him the fucking bends. Unfortunately, Jetfire doesn't do this. So we cut up to the fucking moon. Jetfire and Kicker are shooting birds. They're shooting so many birds. Oh, but before we cut to that, we need
I do want to say one funny line as they launch off from Optimus. This is one of the bright spots in this episode, which is, I can't even remember what Kicker says, but he's like being a brat or whatever, and
the usual.
Yeah, and Optimus is like, I just don't know what to do with that kid. Okay, he's all yours, Jetfire.
Yes, okay, he's all yours, Jetfire. You got it. He thought about it like, why am I trying to stop him?
Okay, he's all yours, Jetfire. Okay, bye.
There's also a pretty good one in the dub. Is it the end of this episode of I think it's the end of the previous episode where Kicker first kicks Ironhide, I believe. Where they're first told that they're going to be working together.
I think it's the beginning of this episode, actually.
Yes,
because
it is.
it's after the episode literally begins with him being like, actually, I don't hate my dad. He gave me this sick suit, and I can do anything.
Yeah.
I'm invincible. And yeah,
there is a pretty funny line in Superlink where like he and Ironhide are arguing, and Ironhide's telling Optimus, "Please, sir, I don't want to be on babysitting duty," and Kicker kicks his like weird rotating head thing, and there's just a pause, and Ironhide very normally just goes, "Did you just kick me?"
It's the same in the dub as well, actually, and then immediately they start talking over each other.
Yes, that's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, that was
if
okay.
It was more of that energy, like actual goofiness, then that would be fine. But instead, it's just the worst.
It's just
anyway,
bad, unfortunately.
The Omnicons say, "Hey, Optimus, we gotta sell some shit for the toy line. Here's some Energon stars."
Also, I want to talk about Strongarm's stupid lisp.
Oh, he does have a lisp, doesn't he?
Yeah, he had this stupid lisp like this. It's like, oh god, okay. Moving on, please.
I really like Skyblast's Japanese voice because he sounds like a very pleasant old man. He sounds like an uncle. Anyway, yeah, they get they get juiced up by the Omnicons. They get their performance enhancing drugs, and then they shoot off on the space bridge to the moon. Ironhide sees a lot of corpses in the mine entrance before he heads down there. Like, really nothing happens here. I don't know why any of these events occur, but the Terracons are in the mine. They blow up all the Terracons. And also we learn that when the Terracons like eat Energon, it manifests on their back as an Energon star. But it's like an unprocessed Energon star, so if a transform touches it, they get youched. They get ow, ooey, owie, my hand.
Right.
And we get a fucking cut back to Alpha Q, who's capering about as usual, and he's like, ooh, maybe they beat me again, but I've got a new big guy coming. Oh, he's so big. Here he comes. He sure does look like a scorpion, doesn't he?
Yeah, and that's Scorponok.
Hey,
and that's the episode, and we're free.
Yeah, some other shit happens. There is a scene I would like to say where when they're back on Earth, and I think also when they're back on Earth, this is where the "did you just kick me" scene happens. And also Demolisher comes up to Optimus and was like, "Hey, man."
Oh, yeah. Demolisher Union man that he is.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, do you see my friends up there?"
And they're like, no. And Demolisher's like, you would have looked harder if they were Autobots.
Yeah, he's right.
And he's right.
He's right. They just left Cyclonus for dead. They didn't give a fuck.
Truly did not.
Yeah, Demolisher. He's literally correct. But yeah, that is the end of the episodes, and
we're free forever.
Oh, if only. The next episode is the first one that has a spelling mistake in the title.
Great
stuff. All right. We've got some questions. We have a lot of general questions about life after this, but also we have questions in the Discord. So if you would be so kind as to take us through those.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Our first one this week is from Nero from Disney Minus. How much of the series would have changed if Hotshot took the shot when he had the chance?
Please, Hotshot, free us. It would have been...
Pull the trigger, Piglet!
Like, honestly, I'm trying to think if anything would have changed that much. I guess some stuff would have changed, but like...
Probably.
Just put Misha in Kicker's place, and like, it would basically be the same.
Oh, God.
Like, he doesn't actually do anything other than whine, I don't think.
We can only pray.
Oh, we totally forgot to talk about Super Optimus, by the way. Okay. Because this next question is thoughts on OP's weird Megazord-looking super form.
I mean, I talked about it because I talked about how bad it is.
It looks really bad. Okay, so Optimus has, like I said, he's got these drones called the Prime Force. There's a submarine, a drill, a helicopter, and what is the fourth one?
I think it's a car of some sort.
It's a car, some kind of land vehicle. And also his head, he gets like a big puffy head, but his face stays the same size. So it just looks really stupid.
Yeah.
It just looks like he's wearing a really big hat. And yeah, it just like the design itself is just so ugly. Like, man, I don't know. I don't really even know how to describe it. Okay, so like obviously Super Optimus in Armada, that's a pretty good look.
It's good. It has a nice transformation sequence. He gets a little magical girl with it, a little henshin with it. It's good.
And this gets Voltron with it, which in theory I would be down for. Oh, here we go. There's a good. Ugh. And there's just here's my problem. There's too many fucking colors in this thing. It's so garish, which I know is also a Voltron thing, but like, yikes.
Okay, but I think here's the thing with the Voltron is I think Voltron is shaped better.
Yeah, it has symmetry because they're all the same type of animal. Optimus attaches 4 random vehicles to his limbs.
Yeah, I think the idea of it all being cats is very interesting to me.
Yeah, and that does give Voltron like a good smooth
and, like,
design.
Even the Megazords, like, I don't know, like,
yeah.
Here,
it feels like they were built to go together.
I think the other issue with this design is that they don't actually look like limbs.
No.
They literally just look like vehicles slapped onto his hands and feet.
And they have their hands coming out of him. Yeah, they just like, oh god. And then his like chest opens to show off the gross, because like instead of the nice blue matrix or whatever, the Spark combination is like a weird dark red.
Yeah.
He's got a cyst in there or something. You need to get that fucking looked at, Optimus.
Yeah, no, it's not good.
It's not. It's very bad, and unfortunately, this is only the first of many of Energon Optimus's fugly ass combination forms. Because he gets some other ones in the future, and boy howdy, they also look just as bad.
Okay, let's move on. I don't want to think about this guy anymore.
So he just looks so bad.
Yeah. Sidewinder Sabrina asks, going back into the Unicron Trilogy universe, who do you believe was the first true victor in the final battle between Optimus and Megatron at the end of Armada?
Megatron.
Great.
All right. No. Let me explain it, because I think it's actually interesting. Because obviously Optimus is the one who survived, but that doesn't actually matter. Megatron dragged Optimus down to his level, like got him to play around in the mud with him, like, you're a fucking battle sicko just like me. Ooh, you want to hurt me. Ooh, you want to fight. You love to fight. And also, he's the one who saved the day. He's the one who stopped Unicron. So, like,
you kind of sound like
what?
The first 2 pages of Fight Club.
That's right.
There's a lot for anyone who hasn't read Fight Club, who's only watched the movie. There's a great line on like the second page of the book where Tyler is going on and on towards the narrator about, their legacy and everything. And, he's like, don't you get it? Even though we'll die, our names will live on forever. We'll be immortal. And the narrator's just sitting there like handcuffed and gagged and thinking, no, Tyler, you're thinking of vampires.
Yes, I think that Megatron won that bout. It's the last W he's going to take for a while, because let me tell you, nobody wins in Energon. We all lose.
How does this sequel series opening compare to the 2 openings of Armada / Legends of the Microns?
I can answer this one. It's bad.
I'm dying, Squirtle. Moving on.
Yeah, I mean, like, say what you will about Armada's opening. I do like the sort of narration, like the different narrators and all that stuff. It sets a tone. It sets like a cool tone. This sets nothing but your expectations very low.
How does this new kid compare to the 3 from the prequel series? Also bad.
Sub-billion Fred. Like, he is worse than any of them.
How about Earthspark? Entirely different galaxies.
It's like this is like a different strata.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not talking the same organisms here. Different levels.
Yeah. Finally, what the hell happened to all of the other characters from the previous series? Surely they couldn't have just died? No, they died.
So I choose to believe that anyone who doesn't show back up from Armada was on Mars and they all just died.
They died.
They just died off screen.
Yeah.
Wheeljax, he's dead. Who else is it here? Fucking Blur, that dude's fucking dead. He died off screen. Yeah, well, they're super dead. Yeah, any of the robots, they were all on Mars. They just died. They just get eaten by cats and birds.
Void Mother asks, boy, it sure is novel having a main character who actively detests the Transformers, right? I sure hope this is a deep plot line that informs Kicker's character development through the rest of the series. Not a question, so I'm not even going to comment on that.
I'm pretty sure he literally just forgets about it halfway through the show. It's never like developed. They just stop it.
Haybine asks, how excited is Audrey to finally have a series where Ironhide is not only a character, but a main character, just like she specifically asked for on past episodes of the podcast. Totally exactly the way she asked for. To which I say, please remember that I have the ability to ban anyone in this server.
But aren't you happy? You finally got everything you wanted.
And the
Ironhide is knocking at the door. He's so happy to be home. Aren't you going to let him in?
Okay, first of all, that's not Ironhide. It's Roadbuster.
That made sense. No, that is not Ironhide. God, we haven't even seen.
Oh God, that was a joke. Hey, mine. I like. I'm not serious about that at all. In case there's any question about that,
we haven't even seen. I don't think there's any character who looks worse in any Power Links forms than Ironhide because his body just looks wrong. He doesn't look good as pants or shirt.
He's as wide as he is tall.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way,
this man.
The thing I forgot to mention when explaining the Toyland gimmick that maybe I didn't make entirely clear is that all of the Autobots of the same size classes could mix and match with each other. So you could combine anybody and anybody, and let me tell you, none of them looked good. Even the ones that were like meant to go together and are in the show look bad.
Yeah. Okay. From Slipstream Sam, what pose would you use as your static spaceflight pose if you could choose?
Did we have cars driving in space? And we did, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Why the fuck can they do that?
Yes, we did. I mean, a classic T pose. You gotta, right?
Yeah, or like a fucking like a Superman, like an Omni-Man, like two fists held out in front of you. You know?
Yeah. No. T posing to success.
That's right. Certainly not. If I could turn into a car, I would not.
Truly Christ-like.
Drive around. Yeah.
Flying around crucified.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say the Martians crucified me.
Yeah, that's right.
Out here.
That's right. Veer asks, would Earthspark be better or worse for the same level of entertainment if Kicker was in it in all of his dirt bike Kamen Rider glory? Keep Earthspark's name out of your mouth.
Keep Kamen Rider's name out of your mouth.
Yeah.
That dude is not Kamen Rider. That dude may have a bike and power armor, but he is not him.
Yeah.
I will say the armor looks fine. I think the armor design is pretty alright.
The armor design is fine.
But
I mean, it's yeah. I mean, it looks like a sort of Gundam flight suit again, kind of thing.
Also,
but like, it's fine because it's not fucking CG animated.
Yeah, it looks normal, unlike all of the Transformers who look abominable.
Yeah. And then our last question this week is from Aurora John. Bold of you to change your name to that for this, Aurora.
I wonder, Aurora's out there. She's doing the streaming our episodes every week, and I wonder how long. If they'll last us to the end, or if they'll give up before we do.
To willingly subject yourself to this is outrageous. What's the dumbest action verb to name your child after? The Jerker.
The Jerker.
This
is my son, the Jerker.
The Jerker.
The Jerker.
Jerk-pilled the stroke cell.
Oh god, this is how far we've degraded from one episode. Imagine We're gonna be raving lunatics by the end of this.
It was between that.
Be...
It was between that and Stroker, by the way, for me.
The Stroker.
The Stroker.
The Stroker.
Someone put me out of my misery.
We're fucking losing it. We're fucking losing it.
Okay. Yeah, what's your action verb? What's your action verb?
The jerker. Really
also the jerker. Yeah, the jerker is pretty good.
I don't know if I can like get one better. Like the the jerker, the stroker, the punter. I don't know. That's not as good. It's got to be the jerker.
Oh god. Okay, we need to end this episode. We've been Prime Cuts. You can follow us on Twitter at Prime Cuts Pod. You can listen to us on any podcatcher of your choice, as well as on Noisepace.xyz, which we are a proud member of, along with a bunch of other really great podcasts. You know what? Hell, we're gonna be subjecting ourselves to torture for the next 6 months. So, if you like what we're doing here and you want to give us a 5-star review, but only if you want to give us a 5-star review, go ahead and do that wherever you feel like doing that.
Make it all worth it, please.
I'm Audrey. You can find me on Tumblr, Twitter, co-host, and Blue Sky at Optimum Prime. That's my funny robot internet joke. You can also listen to the other podcast I do called Pod of Greed, which is about Yu-Gi-Oh! I've also been cast in a radio drama called The Disappearances of Lydia Fontaine. To find out more about that, you can go to lydiadisappears.com, where you can listen to the pilot right now, actually. The story is about, after her parents' mysterious disappearance, a bookish teenager and her weird friend struggle to survive the feud over... a bookish teenager and weird friend struggle to survive the feud over her supernatural inheritance. I play a suburban mom, and you should go ahead and look at that. Follow Lydia Disappears basically across all social media accounts, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter for more information about our Kickstarter, which will be launching the 3rd of June.
The Jerker. I'm Hero. You can follow me on Twitter at Dragon Smoocher, on co-host at Dragon Snuggler, on Tumblr at Cyclonus with a 5. Big rip to the boy. He got eaten.
I had a Cyclonus, but then I eated it.
I've got a couple other shows. I've got Talk Cycles and Ready for Heidelin. Both of those you can find on co-hosts under those names. We're not gonna make it. I have a feel. You know what? I think we should try 3 episodes next week just to see.
Just to see how much we can tolerate.
Yeah, just to see. I feel
power
like
through. We're gonna have to, if we decide to do this, I want it to be still the same length episode, so we're gonna have to power through to keep a discussion to like 20 minutes per episode.
You know, something tells me that won't be too much of a problem.
All right, I'm just saying.
The event, the percentage of events worth talking about in this show rapidly decreases.
Diminishing returns.
Yeah, mostly it'll just be like, this is some dumb shit the dub said. What did this mean? And then I'll have to tell you what the hell they like garbled in translation into literal nonsense.
Fantastic, love it.
So until next time, my friends, I am going to swing my arms and legs in a perfect 90-degree angle and slide down this hallway, transform and roll out.
I'm gonna jerk it, transform and roll out.
Jerker!
The jerker!
Peach.
Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, more than meets the eye. Transformers, robots in disguise.
Transformers.